I never really thought of trolling as a executive function thing, but it makes sense. If they're saying that tilt is one of the precursors to trolling, it would make sense why it's an emotional cognitive hiccup in your frontal lobes. But I also think that it's very interesting that they picked out the different types of motivational factors for trolling, where the goals of a troll is kind of similar, or the goals have to behave within the context of the game. But at the same time, as a troll, then you also need to think about how you're going to act and behave in a certain manner to still be within the context of the game, but at the same time, you're doing something actively different that is against the goals of the game. So in that sense, you're actually using more cognitive resources to be a troll than not. Really, that's kind of what it's about. If you're a troll, you definitely take more energy. For all of you out there, if you guys want to take a break and if you want to do some stretching with me, I think it's really helpful and useful that we all take breaks and stretch, because if we're talking about cognitive and emotional regulation and to be less trolly or to get less tilted or whatever, it's important that you give yourself breaks, because when you give yourself breaks, think of like running. You can only run for so long at a high pace or a very good speed, but after that you get tired. And then after that, if you take a break, you can rest and recover, and then you can continue sprinting. Your mind kind of works the same way. Or if you're working on a project, or in fact, if you're playing a game, which takes, I don't know, all these articles on esports say that playing games is a very cognitively taxing activity. So if you're using your brain a lot, how do you expect to run at that pace if you don't take breaks? So also the reason why you want to stretch is because your body's connected to your brain. Body feel bad, brain work bad too. Drinking water, taking a stretch break, getting up, looking farther off in the distance for your eyeballs. I think these are all important if you want to continue to use your brain at a high level. For you students out there, same thing. When you study, it's important that you take breaks from your studying so you don't burn yourself out, and or you can continue to process and store information and encode that information so it can get to long-term memory. If not, you're just finding patterns of how to respond to stuff. You're not actually learning. So that's why it's important that we all take breaks. The more breaks that we take, the less trolly we'll be. I guess trolling in real life would be kind of just like, I don't know, using humor and being a dick, or being in a really bad mood and then just like amp it out on people. That's pretty troll. If trolling is a emotional and cognitive thing, then we need to do things like take breaks or drink water or eat things or whatever to make sure that we can continue to function and think at a high level. I mean, all this makes sense. Like Among Us, this applies to that game, this applies to studying, taking the SATs, all these things.